Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and keep watching more details. General Hospital Tuesday, July 16 recap. Jason's 2-hour wait on Valentin's takedown. Sonny and Nina make peace. General Hospital, GH. Spoilers recap for Tuesday, July 16. Reveals that Dex Heller, Evan Hofer, stopped by to see Jocelyn Jacks, Eden McCoy, during his lunch break, so she snuck away from the pool briefly to make out with him. Meanwhile, Lois Cirillo, Rena Sulfur, offered Giovanni Giampalmieri, Giovanni Mazza, a spot on a new Broadway soundtrack since she had a friend who needed a violinist. But he turned it down since he had other commitments and liked his new life in Port Charles. Next on Tuesday's GH episode, John Jagger Cates, Adam J. Harrington, showed up at Ava Jerome's, Maura West, suite looking for her help to build a case against Sonny Corinthos, Morris Bennard. Ava played up how afraid she was of Sonny's retaliation, but she agreed to think about helping John. After John asked about the Jerome family's organization, Ava acted like Julian Jerome, William DeVry, kept her in the dark on the ugly details. Ava also claimed that Sonny insisted on taking her to the warehouse the night of the sniper attack, and Sonny was a difficult man to say no to. When Ava tried to shift the conversation to John and get a bit more personal, he decided that was enough questions for today. However, John did agree to let Ava call him by his first name as he parted ways with her. Afterwards, John got a call from his agitated boss about a new shipment that proved Pikeman was still in play. It was obvious that John was under more pressure since his boss delivered orders and hung up on him. Back with Ava, she was surprised when Natalia Ramirez, Eva Leroux, showed up at her door next. Natalia demanded answers about why Ava leaked that recording, but Ava suggested she made it accidentally, and then felt everyone should know. Although Ava assumed Sonny was furious with Natalia for what she said, Natalia argued that Ava was the one he was livid with over the leak. At Sonny's penthouse, Willow Corinthos, Caitlin McMullen, dropped by and admitted she just had a conversation with Nina Reeves, Cynthia Watros. Sonny was surprised to hear that Willow was talking to Nina again, but Willow suggested she was following Drew Quartermain's, Cameron Matheson, example when it came to forgiveness. Willow hoped that maybe Sonny and Michael Corinthos, Chad Duell, could find a path forward as well since Michael was truly sorry. Sonny was hesitant after the way Michael betrayed him and eventually answered a phone call from Diane Miller's, Carolyn Hennessy, associate. Willow was taken aback as Sonny had a major outburst and insisted on Diane herself calling him back. Sonny offered news on the custody case before Willow once again brought up the idea of him perhaps forgiving Michael. After Sonny agreed to think about it, Willow headed out. In Nina's office, Drew acknowledged that he deserved the slap, but he also explained how he just got caught up in the moment with Willow. Nina suggested maybe she should shatter Willow's illusions about Drew and reveal that he was sleeping with her mother. Drew pointed out that the time to come clean would have been right after Willow told Nina about the kiss. As Drew continued to explain away the kiss, he urged Nina to understand since she faced a similar situation in Nixon Falls. Nina admitted she told Willow to forget the kiss and move on. Drew was happy to hear that and vowed not to pursue or take advantage of Willow. Nina softened as Drew said he admired the way she didn't give up on a relationship with Willow. Although Nina didn't like what Willow confided, she was glad Willow felt comfortable coming to her. Drew suggested maybe they needed a new understanding with each other and thought they could leave all the animosity behind them. As Drew almost seductively wondered what they were left with, Nina received a call from her assistant about Sonny's arrival. Drew took off, that gave Sonny a chance to talk to Nina about the custody case. Nina trashed Ava and had learned her lesson when it came to trusting her. If Nina were called to testify, she assured Sonny that she would say he was an exemplary father and that Avery Corinthos, Ava, and Grace Scarola adored him. Sonny admitted he shared some guilt in what wrong in their marriage since he didn't handle things well in the end. However, Sonny pointed out that Nina had buried the hatchet with Drew and asked if she could do the same with him. At Jason Morgan's Steve Burton place, he fumed when Anna Devane, Finola Hughes, insisted she couldn't turn Valentin Cassadine, James Patrick Stewart, in, not when Charlotte Cassadine, Scarlett Fernandez, just forgave her. Charlotte would lose her papa, so Anna refused to cause her pain again. Anna asked for 2 hours so she could warn Valentin and give him a chance to flee with Charlotte. The sun hung high over Port Charles on Tuesday, July 16, casting a golden glow over the city as the drama unfolded in the hallowed halls of General Hospital. The corridors buzzed with anticipation, whispers of impending confrontations, and the ever-present tension that seemed to linger like a storm cloud waiting to burst. Jason Morgan, ever the stoic enforcer, found himself in the familiar territory of waiting. His steely gaze fixed on the clock, its hands moving far too slowly for his liking. 2 hours stretched out before him like an eternity, each minute a test of his patience. He was waiting for word on the takedown of Valentin Cassadine, a formidable adversary whose machinations had caused more than their fair share of grief. Jason's thoughts drifted to the plan they had meticulously crafted. Every detail had been scrutinized, every possible variable accounted for. He trusted his team, but the waiting gnawed at him. As he leaned against the wall in the dimly lit hallway, his phone buzzed. A message from Spinelli, all set. Ready to move on your signal. Jason typed a quick response, stand by, and pocketed the phone, his mind already racing ahead to what lay in store. Meanwhile, across town at the Corinthos compound, Sonny Corinthos found himself in an unusual situation. He was preparing to meet with Nina Reeves, the woman who had turned his world upside down. Their relationship had been a tumultuous one, marked by betrayal, anger, and moments of unexpected tenderness. Today, though, Sonny hoped for peace. He wanted to find a way to move forward, not just for his sake, but for the sake of his family. Nina arrived, her expression a mix of determination and apprehension. She had wronged Sonny in ways she could never fully atone for, but she was here to try. They sat across from each other, the silence thick with unspoken words. Finally, Sonny broke the ice. Nina, he began, his voice steady but with an edge of vulnerability. We've been through a lot. More than most people could handle. I think it's time we figure out where we go from here. Nina nodded, her eyes meeting his with a sincerity that spoke volumes. I agree, Sonny. I've made mistakes, and I know I can't undo them. But I want to make things right for all of us. As they talked, a tentative understanding began to form. It wasn't a complete resolution, but it was a start. They discussed their past, their mistakes, and their hopes for the future. By the time Nina left, there was a sense of peace that hadn't been there before. It was fragile, but it was real. Back at General Hospital, Jason's wait was finally over. His phone buzzed again, this time with a call from Spinelli. It's done, Spinelli said, his voice tinged with a mix of excitement and relief. Valentin's been taken down. We're clear. Jason allowed himself a brief moment of satisfaction before springing into action. He had to ensure everything was wrapped up neatly, no loose ends. As he made his way through the hospital, he couldn't help but think of the countless battles he had fought, the endless cycle of violence and retribution. But this was his life, and he knew no other way. Elsewhere, Carly Corinthos was dealing with her own set of challenges. The fallout from Willow's mistake with Drew had caused a rift in her relationship with her son, Michael. She had always prided herself on being able to protect her family, but this time things were different. As she stood in the living room of her home, she felt the weight of her responsibilities pressing down on her. She picked up her phone and dialed Willow's number. "We need to talk," she said when Willow answered. "Meet me at the Metro Court. We need to sort this out." The tension in Carly's voice was unmistakable, and Willow knew there was no avoiding this conversation. As she made her way to the Metro Court, she couldn't help but feel a sense of dread. She had made a mistake, and now she had to face the consequences. The meeting was tense, filled with harsh words and raw emotions. Carly didn't hold back, laying out her frustrations and fears. Willow listened, her heart heavy with regret. She knew she had hurt Michael, and by extension Carly. But she was determined to make things right. As the sun set over Port Charles, the day came to a close, but the drama was far from over. Jason's successful takedown of Valentin marked a significant victory, but there were always more battles to be fought. Sonny and Nina's tentative peace was a step forward, but their journey was far from complete. And Carly and Willow's strained relationship was a reminder that even the strongest bonds could be tested.